Sekuphinze kunjalo ke mbukeli senguye lesine senguye ke lesikhathi selibhola Eswatini lihlelo ke lapho sikulesela khona lokwenteke yakho edintsabente libhola phela la ekhaya sike sephinde sithinta ke nakulamanye kubuka kulamanye emave kuhamba kanjani sethemba mbukeli ukuthi namuhla usehleli nathi utawuthokoda kuba nathi sikhulumise leto dintsabate libhola leto letithinta ikakhulu iAfrican football njalo kwade ukuthi Young Buffaloes imele yosimelela khona iyodlala neLive neteam yaseTunisia le sitakhulumisa naye ngathi ke pro ngoma ke CEO wayo iYoung Buffaloes Nhlanhla Gwebo lesitakhulumisana naye kusitshela nje ukuthi ngabe team ihamba kanjani siyathi ukuthi kunetimfu letingahambi kahle in terms of ama games kude yini so sitava ukuthi team isection nje isalungiselela bekumele ngambukela ukuthi ngabe sitakhulumisana naye Felix Berenhorst lo gijima lapha ku TX Galaxy but solo sizama ukuxhumana naye lapha kubozombe sike samtfola ke la ukuthi sitawukhuluma naye imitamo sitawuchubeka simzame kumtfola kepha ke kunginyalo umbukeli singasho ukuthi usangatholakala ukuthi sale singena sele phela singena emoyeni njalo konke sesimnikile kungakuye ukuthi indlela ukuthi singaxhumana kanjani kepha ke sitawuchubeka sami kumtfola sachubeka kahle lokunye ke sitaphenze sikhulumise indzaba yetayo ikhafu sitakhuluma naye lapha Soccer Africa and African football journalist Thomas Konayite lesitabe sikhulumisana naye la tamati kakhulu ke wayevakashela ibhola yalana ikakhulu makudlala wona emancamo etato ufuna thatha la dotithombe ahamba sakade khona event lakhe eNingizimu Afrika sitakhulumisana naye la simthatha naye ngazoom sive nje ukuthi ngabe from his point of view African football ihamba kanjani kepha ke tonke lentsaba lesengitibalile mbukeli ndabe ngihamba naye Linda Master Dlamini lo tabe solahleli nami sitikhulumisa sitihlatiya nawe mbukeli siyathemba ukuthi at some point in time sathola ichance ukuthi mhlambe nawe ungene ulekelele lenkulumo lapho ungafuna ukuyingenela khona kepha ke ungakayikhashane kakhulu angivuselele indawo studio ngimnikele lithuba ukuthi asekavusele babukele emakhaya
Phathizo ngibonga kakhulu ngumukeleka la ngiyithuba lokukhuluma ngivusele amalwelo viewers ekhaya uyasimosha man Felix la ngoba
people looking forward ukuthi simthole man
kakhulu baningi nje laba bebasenda imlate emini nabeva ukuthi sitabe sinaye Felix nalomunye waveda wasesolomnye songifakela nendzaba basafunza isikolo ukuthi kune game lengaphelanga kudlala siphufane nesibusisweni after ena gorel goal kwasuka umsindo kwathiwa leli goal alikangeni kuhamba kwaBotshosineti kwathiwa ingene khona lebhola so Felix out dinengi letindzaba but ke
sikamthola but because akusekuthi akasekho kuphi kungaba nje indlela ukuthi kunebulukhuni bekuxhumana kepha ke samthola naye ngelanga esikhulumisana naye lapha atosichazela kahle nje ukuthi ngabe he moved teams from first division wanyukela ka Premier League ku TX Galaxy besitawuva tonke letindzaba leto ukuthi ngabe kuhamba kanjani khona njalo kuzwile ukuthi uke wakora nekora kuleminye imidlalo lekayidlalile besitakhulumisa but ke the issue at hand master Young Buffaloes sitawuva ngayo masinyane sitakhulumisana naye umphathi wayo ingathi CEO ngabe ahamba njani ama preparation la toba likhona master because I've been getting updates from the team yaseTunisia ukuthi they are playing games they are winning games baku top form bona ngabe kuyibeka phi Young Buffaloes
ngicabanga ukuthi idikhathi leti Phathizo leti ngaseto ukuqala Phathizo ngicabanga ukuthi ukuphashelele ulimi uphambathisa Nhlanhla Gwebo nasandile
yes
but ngicabanga ukuthi vele idikhathi leti likhulu Phathizo for my teams ethu because more especially on Young Buffaloes ayidlali team ibhola emisiwe in fact onke ama sports amisiwe in the kingdom kani le sodlala nabo bona bayadlala kunako lesadibana nako na national team ukuthi sina sodlala nebamvula laba active sine asiko active so ngicabanga ukuthi vele idikhathi leti matima leti but for Young Buffaloes ngicabanga ukuthi le experience labayithola ku Esvita against Esvita tikona team mhlambe labatibukile labatikopile because yes the traveling itaba takes kakhulu
sisezwele sina eline ngena elisandile Gwebo CEO wayo iYoung Buffaloes asingibukele Mr Gwebo ehlelweni sifusele siyaconza Mr Gwebo ukuthi licembu liya lungiselela kumele ukuthi anilungiselela imidlalo yalo ne khona eTunisia kepha ke njalo kusathi ukuthi imidlalo emisiwe la eveni gatherings of any kind. And the last time sizama ukukhulumisana nani nagcina nithi nisemele imvumo from Football Association lobe kunaye kumele akhulume nayo i-ministry. Ngabe kwagcina lapho ukuthi licembu selivumelekile ukuthi libuyele elijime lilungiselele lo mdlalo lomkhulu kangaka ku Eswatini football?
Mhlawumbe nje umsibumvakasho ukuthi ku-safety change from the last time sikhuluma nawo. It's kind of a tough situation la sikhona khona, but nje we are trying mhlawumbe ukupreparisha ama-individual. We have tried to put up all the safety precautions mhlawumbe lesingakhona kuwena. But again, yasikhona vele ku-train as a group and we cannot be in together kanye sonke.
Right.
Manje usungulahlekela msebenzi ngithole kahle.
Ngisike Mr. Gwebo kunginyalo uthi i-team usola ikhona ukujima kanye ezinilungiselele le game lenkhulu kangaka.
Yes, ngisho njalo ukuthi uzobona le team usola ikhona ukulungiselela kanye because so mayika ithuwa. Ukuthi sengajima kanye yonke.
Kumele into ihambe ukuze nithole le mvumo bese tilihambile nelicembu ukuthi manje nithole le mvumo kwabeke ukuthi uhulumende ubukasimo wangakhona ukunika.
Ngicabanga msebenzi thina njenge-club where we can end ukukhuluma ne-association. Sihle mandate ukuthi mhlawumbe fanele sibe ku-ministry. So with the association we are in close contact. So yona-ke besikhuluma ne-ministry. So ngiyacabanga ukuthi abantu abadala basesebhizi ngama-engagement. Ukuthi mhlawumbe naso isimo sesizima ukuthi abantu bangahlangana bajima kanye then they will give us the permission. But another circumstances we are trying to maximize the training yethu individually with the hope yokuthi tasilanga game alifike sesi-ready for the match.
Usebenza kakhulu mathudane nabo coach because nasebhenjini uyahlala makunale midlalo. Ngabe bulukhuni ngendlela lokusebenza ngayo coach naye I'm sure ukuthi angawa raise lawo ma concerns akhe. Bulukhuni ngendlela lokusebenza ngayo because kunema tactics, kunema formation lokumele endiwe yini lokumele ayende lelingakhona ikuyenda ama individual. Ulukhuni kangakanani lo msebenzi kulungiselela igame lenjengale nangale hlobo lelo lisho ngayo?
No, msebenzi ngeke mina it's very tough. Ngoba usho nawo mhlambe i-club ukuze idlale kahle kufuna labo coach bathi ungayicabanga i-combination bathi ungayicabanga isizodlala ngayo. Bese mhlambe sesiya-apply ku-training siyibona ukuthi vele iyasida yini without sikhona kuphumelela yini. So lokho into lesingakhona mhlambe kuyenza njalo. But-ke umsebenzi ukuthi umuntu esingamsona because mhlambe isimo sempilo sisho njalo and etimeni etinjalo mesithatha impilo yibeka phambili bese lokunye sekubalandzela basingakubona ngemuva. So we're hoping ukuthi mhlambe imvumo esitayitfola sibe nayo mhlambe amalanga lokunelane esingathi angaba like 13-14 to try and work on the combinations and all the like.
Mr. Gwebo ngingakufaki nje ku sport lana ukuthi kepha licembu mangathiwa aliye kubhaya yobhayibheli ukuthi tawuhlala lodvana kube bede longenako lophumako ecembini neposition yokuthi ningakhona indloko makangathi uhulumende divaleleni lapha nodvana kube bede longenako kube bede lophumako nitilungiseleleke ngendlela lenilungisa ngayo because I do understand ukuthi benihle nenda ema test la kufanele ukuthi niwende khona lokusho ukuthi akusi ish lokho but mangathi uhulumende divaleleni ningakhona ini position lelingakhona nikwenda lokho.
Oh yes, ngiyabona umuntu wakho ukutanyana. Mhlambe vele sine way before sifike sikusonyalo. I-association yathi mayenda i-operation for football restart. Sazama na ukuthi mhlambe i-club yethu siyilungisele into yokuthi itaba yodvana ngihlangana nomunye umuntu. So thine ngaphandle kokuthi badla bethu bahle bakhululeka baye emakhaya. Vele basinaye bakhona sekanye ukhanda ukuthi kuba ne-team yodvana lapho ikhona ayihlangana nomunye umuntu. So ngicabanga ukuthi we can observe all the precautions mhlawumbe ukwenzeka ngathi kuze kuse khona kulungisekela that ABCD. Ngicabanga ukuthi as of it now vele we are almost 90% certain ukuthi a mini biobubble for us yakhona kuyenza if it's not kungashiwo ukuthi ngene biobubble because nathi phela sithi impilo demaswati so we cannot risk mhlawumbe impilo delive bese sesibakheleza. So we try by all means that ukuthi yonke into lesiyendako i-comply to what the health precautions lase-WHO or lase-live because siyasina kusiloko it's all about impilo telamaswati impilo telabadlali bethu impilo ta wonke umuntu mhlawumbe nokhona evele.
Ina linda lana Mr. Gwebo le kathi khona umbuto lekangafuna ukundlulisa naye.
Mr. Gwebo umbuto wamunye nje ukuthi ngibutele ukuthi senidlalile eAfrica cishe iminyaka lengi3 kulandzelana nangaphosisi etwaldo Sahel Nayadi kahle kahle belitsini leligoli nyalo this year eAfrica yes iCovid ifika yaniphatamisa cishe anikhona lokujima kahle but belitsini vele leligoli this year.
Okay, mhlawumbe ngosi i-element lebeyinkulu bekuthi singene ku-group stage ye-Champions League. Ngicela ukustressa lokho ukuthi i-element lenkulu bekuthi singene ku-group stage ye-Champions League. Unfortunately, ke ebholeni indizana some of results besiyowathola. So nanyalo going up to yethu nakhona bebesitshela ukuthi sifuna ukungena ku-group stage. Because we don't understand ukuthi preparing for this game and playing this game. It hard on the pocket. Nalapho nje umuntu angabonga mhlawumbe ukuthi association up until far. So uyawubona lokho ukuthi mhlawumbe ukuze ibuye le investment yakho osoyifakile kudlala amagame dlala la intercontinental kubitha lokho ukuthi vele uyiqualifyele stage. Kulapho mhlawumbe sengasikubanjonywana khona in terms of imali nodlala. So nathi iNF lomnyaka lo ukuthi sifuna kungena ku-group stage. Ngicabanga ukuthi nawe uzobona elandzelako uyabona ungamalanga ubonile ukuthi mhlawumbe le club isezingeni from all the other season because ukudlala e-Africa uyakhula each and every time udlala khona. So nathi uyasaqala ngawo ufanana ngawesibili ufanana ngawesithathu ufanana nalo wanyana. So uyabona ukuthi club seyikhulile although siwena bosodonzima because ngeke uhlenge inkosi the region yase-Africa ayifanani la ngendasila lasifuna khona kaSaturday mhlawumbe ne-East ne-West ne-North akufanani. So as we knew, I become a little bit more tougher, but we never say aim ukuthi sizakwana group stage wethu can compete with the best stuff.
Mr. Kwevu, siyabonga kakhulu isikhathi sakho sethemba ukuthi kutawulunga masinyane ukuthi nikhone ukuchubeka nokuthi nitilungiselele njalo masibuka ukuthi kule rate lokhanja ngayo lemidlalo lokusho ukuthi niyodlala ku-under same conditions lesikuwo right now in terms of the regulation lokusho ukuthi sooner or later tawukubita ukuthi uhulumende manani bonelele anivulele ukuthi indlale we hope ukuthi kutaba into yamasinyane.
Yes, siyabonga nawo mfo ukuthi bayaseshlelweni nekufisana nje amaswati ukuthi mana sekho lomkhuhlane sinso lithi umkhuhlane wona usibi ukhona futhi uyabulala funa ukuthi sinakelele nalo itembu noma sevunyelwe ukuthi mhlawumbe lingatrainer siyethembisa ukuthi we will do whatever means possible ukuthi sibe safe namaswati abe safe. Expose adive mhlawumbe ku-risk ngezathi ukuthi sifuna ukushaya baseTunisia kona vele siyafisa kubashaya sifuna kubashaya nathi going forward. Lapha nje siyabona ukuthi mhlawumbe sakuthi amaswati athandaza kunye nathi siyasicela ukudlala umdlalo omuhle sitawudlala nabo labantu.
Mr. Kwevu sengifuna ngiphosa ngibalekelwa ngumbuto la ukuthi ngabe ngoba phela labantu baseTunisia sesike sababona phambilini bake beda la even nekuthi ibhola yaseTunisia nandasi ku-Africa ihlukahlukile. Khona lese nikubonile ngoba ke indlela lokubalandzela ngayo abantu laba baseTunisia kubabona ukuthi badlala kanjani nyalo bona in terms of ukubuka ema games abo because basadlala bona ba competitive nanyalo ema games abo aqhubeka.
No msibiya ihlanhla technology into siyasenza sabadala. Siyababona almost each and every time bebadlala nje na itolo. So we I for one I got a chance ukuthi ngabuka sibadlala kanjani itolo labadlala. So nathi amasho ukuthi makende namanye bawabukela because they are already game mhlawumbe kuma-media platform abantu bakhona kwabona. So vele ngathi siyababona abantu abadlala kanjani and uqinisile ibhola yase-Africa yehlukene njengoba ngishilo mhlawumbe igama lesine la kanti asikho kasala kudlala ehlukene yase-West ehlukene yase-South ehlukene yase-North. So but nje-ke siyabadadisha siyabona ukuthi indlela yini esingayenda ukuze mhlawumbe khona ukukhombisa nge-sport.
Ukuthi licambo litawudlala kahle limelele libe proud njengaloko nihle nihamba niyodlala ngaphandle sibe sijabulile simaswati siyabonga kakhulu isikhathi sakho Mr. Kwevu.
Siyabonga kakhulu Mr.
Master, I thought after the call itawuba ne-excitement nyana but I'm rather more depressed.
Yeah.
Looking at the facts yokuthi young Buffaloes lekuthiwa young Buffaloes from Eswatini iyodlala negame lenkulu ku-CAF but they are not training. We understand the situation but it's difficult for young Buffaloes.
Kukhulu kakhulu phathizwe ngicabanga ukuthi vele njengoba ngishilo ngathi timvele tikanje tiyayivisana ebuhlungu. Yes but ngicabanga ukuthi njengoba umbutile Gwebu ukuthi bebangakhona ukungena kubabhabli bekumele ukuthi babanike leyo allowance leyo ukuthi batokhona lokuthi bajime bodwa bahlala isikhathi bodwa at least 3 weeks or 4 weeks nakubita ukuthi bahlale 4 weeks babodwa but akwendeki ngicabanga ukuthi nyalo kudinga ukuthi young buffaloes babe masoja okay well vele masoja but kudinga ukuthi vele lamasokisi enyuka kakhulu kudinga ukuthi bakhwice
but ke master ukukhatha nje lapho at this stage lese badlala kuso it's not even about physical fitness it's about tactically but awuthola phi le awareness and formation wise le wa coach but akuthola phi if bangakhona ukujima right now
in fact pathizobe ngitakhona lapho ukuthi vele njengoba asho nje ugwebo ukuthi ibhola la Africa ihlukile thina la Southern Africa technically we are gifted but those teams as North Africa tactically bona most of the time baba superior so ngicabanga ukuthi vele thina tactically besidinga ukuthi sibe spot on because sabona ukuthi even against AS Vita our players tactically but even physically bekhona la bekulekisha khona ngicabanga ukuthi sebakhonile ukukulungisa lokonyalo so ngicabanga ukuthi
but ke master physical fitness you can be fit but uve ukuthi you lacking ku match fitness wise le fitness yakho ngeke kusethenzawo if you not fit for matches so young buffaloes they are in that position right now because league game they only play 2 games nakhona lo wadlala December or early December only 2 games up until now badlala ezivitha but good anything else competitive
kushuthi nje ikahle young buffaloes solo kwacisa sabuya break bona badlale 6 games because tawukhumbula ukuthi ku Champions League badlale 2 babuya ku league badlala 2 showing 6 games lo kuphela bema emva kwaloko abakhona ukujima as a group so ngicabanga ukuthi vele i situation lena lelikhulu kakhulu for yona young buffaloes lokutawenda ukuthi kuwina against Etoile du Sahel kube these are professionals esikhuluma ngayo Etoile du Sahel bona bajima badlala ba active so vele ngicabanga ukuthi lo machine batawukhanza ukuthi uloloma kakhulu siyethemba
but I mean this calls for a Minister of Sport to stand up and say let's work fast on that program you professionalize ibhola ngwana because I want to believe ukuthi if we were professional master ngabe ibhola yaqhubeka in this situation because if the money ikhona yokuthi badlali bangahamba bayekubhayo baphela ngabe kubita lokho ama sponsors makakhona surely they're gonna sponsor that, they're gonna cover those costs
pathizo ngicabanga ukuthi sike sakhuluma ngesports policy lekumele ukuthi si-approve masinyane so ngicabanga ukuthi litinvo leti kanje titafike tilungiswe ngile sports policy because onke lama teams tabe sokusho ukuthi in fact le bhola itabe sekusho ukuthi say professional but sinyalo sikhuluma ngeteam inye lebe ingayithola lemvumo yekuthi ikhona kuyojima yodwa
and they have the means
bangajima bodwa bavalelwe lapha labajimela khona vele bahlale bodwa bangaphumi so ngicabanga ukuthi somehow nathi as a nation khona mhlambe tinvo bese sesiyashiya but I want to believe ukuthi going forward bayitawulungiseka
September masati tawulungiseka we gonna take a quick break mbukele sibuya naye Thomas khona ithele sivele sithole neke naye intensanjeni esitakhulumisana naye after this short break. Sitho kuwena rehlelo mbukeli lapho khona sendlela vele besivele sithembisile ukuthi sesinaye Mr Thomas Kwenaita from South Africa, African football journalist. Sibe sikhulumisana naye ke la ehlelweni kuva nje ukuthi ngabe issues concerning African football because sitawati ukuthi nyalo masinyane ngamanje kutawona ama elections a CAF president kuthatha lapha over ku Ahmad Ahmad wakhona eMadagascar lenaye yaphuma in controversial manner sekukhuluma ndzaba tekukhobanisa, which has been the biggest issue when it comes to football and of course African football, but sabona kuseplatha kusinakhona kwagcina sekufika leto sekufika at that stage lapho sikhuluma khona. Kepha ke already on the lines I have Thomas Kwenaita. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much and good evening to your viewers.
Yeah, Mr. Kwenaita, it's election year for CAF presidency, and we've seen a surprising name in the form of Patrice Motsepe from South Africa. We know him as a Sundowns boss, but we didn't know him like with interest in African football. But we saw him submitting his name. The SAFA nominated him, and he accepted the nomination. And he's even went as far as going to other confederations, maybe rather other associations, trying to get those votes. Just brief background on Mr. Motsepe and in football in South Africa. Let's have now to Africa as a whole.
Yeah, I suppose as you might know, he is the owner of Mamelodi Sundowns, and beside that, I think he's. You probably know that he studied in Eswatini. He was a student in Eswatini. Yeah, absolutely. So, and as a businessman, I think he's interested in mining. And as a result, my view is that probably by trying to become president of CAF, he's probably also going to try and expand his business ventures across the African continent. Remember, football is one of those vehicles that a lot of leaders across the African, political leaders for that matter, across the African continent try to use, especially during election years. You know, you look at the boss of TP Mazembe, Moise Katumbi. He built TP Mazembe and into a formidable force across the African continent. And right now, he's one of the most popular people in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So football is the sport of the people. And I guess Motsepe has also identified football as a vehicle to achieve probably, or rather expand his business empire. And personally, I didn't see it coming. I was also taken aback when he was nominated as the candidate to challenge Ahmad for the CAF presidency. So yeah, as it is, Ahmad has been ruled out. He has been banned by FIFA. So there's now Augustin Senghor of Senegal, Jacques Anouma of Cote d'Ivoire, Ahmed Yaya of Mauritania, and Patrice Motsepe. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting.
Patrice Motsepe's background, what can he offer African football?
I think when one looks into what he has done for Mamelodi Sundowns, I think I'm right in saying that Mamelodi Sundowns players are one of the better paid players in South Africa. And a better paid player is a player that can perform. You look at the record of Mamelodi Sundowns since he took over as president of the club. Sundowns has become one of the most successful teams in South Africa and also across the continent, simply because the players are better paid. And once a player is better paid and is satisfied, he is able to perform. So I think this is what he would like to bring to Africa. Because let's face it, you look at the African Champions League winners, the first prize is $2.5 million. Now compare it to the UEFA champions. 5 years ago, Barcelona won the UEFA Champions League and they took home 53 million euros. You just cannot compare. And Motsepe being a businessman, I think his ambition is to try and bring the corporate world into the African game, so that if we talk of, say, a club probably spend close to 10 million US dollars to participate in the African Champions League. At the end of the day, if you take home 30 million US dollars, I think it is worth it, unlike what it is right now. And I think it is the business side of the game that Motsepe wants to bring onto football, because I spoke to him a couple of months ago and he said the reason why probably Africa is still so far away from challenging the rest of the world in the World Cup is because of we lack facilities, we lack finance, we still consider football as a pastime or a recreation, and we haven't yet got to a stage where we take football as a business. And unless we get to that point, we will never challenge the world. We will forever remain, I beg your pardon, will forever remain perpetual bridesmaids and never the groom.
There's this division, I'll call it like that, in Africa, the religion division, or geographically. Does it stand a chance, looking at the other candidates that are there? All are presidents of their associations in their respective countries, and here comes Mr. Motsepe with no background in that position. Does it stand a chance, and what does it mean for the SADC region, to be specific, or against the predominant region of Islam, the other religions? Does Mr. Motsepe stand a chance?
I think the mere fact that he has already been nominated and he's got Botswana, Nigeria, and a couple of other countries that have seconded his nomination. The key here is for him to go and sell himself to the rest of the continent. Africa is entrenched in factionalism, and FIFA is not helping matters, and I'll tell you why. Right now, the CAF Good Governance Committee, which you might interpret as the Ethics Committee, has cleared Jacques Anouma and Agustin Senghor. And tonight, as we speak, they are interviewing Motsepe and Ahmed Yahya. But FIFA has pulled the rug from under the CAF Good Governance Committee, and on Tuesday announced that Motsepe and Ahmed Yahya have already been approved. They can go and contest. Now you are causing divisions. You are the leader, you are the mother body as FIFA, the world controlling body. Africa is having their own elections and you are interfering because they have their own processes that they want to do. Now this for me, it goes back to a colleague of mine, Mamadou Gueye, who once said that FIFA is a mafia and they want to control Africa for the main reason that Africa has 54 votes. Now, anybody sitting within FIFA and he has the vote of Africa, he's already assured of 54 votes. So you stand a very good chance of succeeding in your elections. So I'm saying it is up to the African states to stand up to the bullying by FIFA and do things their own way. I think under normal circumstances, CAF is supposed to do the vetting, and once they have completed the vetting, then they would submit the names of the people that have passed the integrity test to FIFA, and not the other way around, because right now, FIFA is already doing the job that CAF is trying to do. So for me, there is a little bit of conflict, and it seems like FIFA is interfering in the elections of CAF, and it's not good enough for our game.
It's not good enough, Mr. Konaita. But I have Linda next to me who wants to ask you a few questions on that matter.
Pratike.
Master, I'm
Yeah,
listening.
Sharp, how's it?
I'm good, my brother. How are you?
Take care. The former president of CAF. No, grand TK. We miss you, man. You know, so Eswatini is your second home.
I know, but now we are with COVID, we have to social distance and be able to meet once everything has gone back to normal.
Yeah, back to business, TK. The former president of of CAF is from COSAFA region. Now, Motsepe, if he wins to become the CAF president, can we see a development in COSAFA region? We saw Madagascar qualifying for the first time for AFCON, Botswana some few years back, Eswatini haven't qualified, Lesotho haven't qualified, your Comoros. Can we see a development in COSAFA? Second question. I heard you naming the other candidates for the CAF presidency. Why did Kimmich of Nigeria withdraw?
Pinnick, I think the reason why Pinnick didn't take part is because, if you remember very well, when Ahmad was arrested by the French police in Paris, there are rumors that Pinnick, as the first vice president, some allegations emerged that Pinnick wanted to take over the running of CAF. As a result, 24 hours later, when Ahmad was released, he fired Pinnick. So immediately after firing Pinnick, I believe there's the corruption police in Nigeria are investigating Pinnick. I stand to be corrected, but maybe Pinnick just felt that this is not the right time for him to contest, and that is why he threw his weight behind Patrice Motsepe's campaign. And as far as development is concerned, I think there is just not enough unity and working together and cooperation between the SADC region. And I'll tell you why. The last time, COSAFA is alleged to have agreed that they will support Danny Jordan to stand for the FIFA Executive Committee position. Then a week before elections, Tanya Milandu came up. So there were two candidates vying for one position. For me, that showed division. So even now, Motsepe was not supported by the whole COSAFA region, but I was quite happy to read today that the entire region has decided to back up Motsepe, which is good. I believe the COSAFA region has been the most active region of all the African at the regional confederations. Now, what we need to do is traveling from Johannesburg to Mbabane is 2 hours, between 2 and 3 hours. Traveling to Mozambique, the same distance, almost the same hours, 3 to 4 hours. You travel to Namibia, anyway, you can't drive, you'll have to fly. So what if, Linda, the COSAFA region can start their own Champions League and Cup Winners' Cup tournament, which they can play during the week? Don't you think that could help at least develop the game within our region? And Motsepe being one of the billionaires in the continent, I'm sure he can find sponsors that could sponsor such tournaments. It would be so lovely to see Mbabane Swallows playing against Kaizer Chiefs, or Dynamos or Highlanders of Zimbabwe playing against Mashakene of Maputo. I mean, that could go a long way, but as I said, until such time that our region becomes more solid and more unified, this will just turn out to be a dream. And it's a pity Eswatini has never qualified for the AFCON, because a couple of years ago, I think they were still coached by Matze. And they came very, very close, very, very close. Just I think they messed up when they drew with Malawi and Zimbabwe in Mbabane at home. Had they won those matches, I think they would have qualified.
So, talking of the COSAFA region, Zakonite, we were struggling even against the other countries in CHAN tournaments, where you'll expect that we do have, because tactically and technically our players are very good in this region, but when you take them to the other regions, they seem to be struggling. Look at the CHAN tournament that is going on in Cameroon. Already we've got some few countries, including Zimbabwe, who over the years have produced quality players, but when they come as a country, they are failing to produce the results. What could be the problem? We're talking of CHAN, they've already, I think we have only Zambia left in that tournament. Where are we lacking on that aspect?
I think we have a serious problem. We do have a serious problem. Let me talk about South Africa. Now, South Africa, when it comes to CHAN, you find a situation where the PSL clubs do not recognize CHAN. And as a result, they refuse to release their players for national duty because they say the tournament, or rather the competition, does not fall under CAF, I beg your pardon, under FIFA dates. And as a result, they are not obliged to release their best players. And so the coach who is there is forced to either use second division players or first division players that are on the fringe of breaking into the team. And in reality, that is not your best players that you are taking there. But in other countries, the federation basically stops the Premier League and they give the coach the latitude of selecting whoever he wants to select. So that is the problem we are facing within the Southern region. But this year, let me make an excuse for Namibia and Zimbabwe, because I think, let's face it, guys, COVID has played havoc with basically our lives altogether. There are clubs that have not played professional football for almost 6 to 7 months. And for a professional player, you cannot afford to go and perform to your maximum when you haven't trained and prepared adequately. Even when you have to play in the domestic league, you have to go into pre-season to prepare at least 6 weeks. You have to prepare for 6 weeks. Now, heaven knows, in Namibia, they haven't played league football for 3 years. 3 years, there hasn't been any league football in Namibia. So I do not expect Namibia. Honestly, I knew Namibia would be knocked out in the group stages, and it has happened that way. Zimbabwe as well, there hasn't been any league football in Zimbabwe at all, and they've also been knocked out. So Zambia at least has been active for the last 3-4 months or so. And Micho has kept the players active because he has been doing camps on an almost daily basis, if not weekly basis. So I'm not surprised that Zambia has managed to get through to the knockout stages of the CHAN.
Of CHAN, is it improving the quality of football we're seeing, more especially in leagues around the continent?
At the expense of being called a spoiled sport, I think CAF needs to rethink the concept of the CHAN competition. I think we have an under-17 CAF tournament that is played every second year, an under-20 tournament that is played every second year. But our under-23s plays once when they have to qualify for the Olympic Games. My view was that the CHAN should be used primarily for our under-23s in Africa. It should be a tournament for the under-23s. It should be played every second year, and then the next cycle should be when they qualify for the Olympics. And after that, then, and so on and so on. But to have to have professionals only based in Africa playing. If you have, for instance, Eswatini players who are playing in South Africa, they are not eligible to represent the country in the Chan tournament. Something is just not right. And I think we need to sit down and come up with ideas on how we can keep our players active. I personally believe that the Chan tournament should be reserved for under 23 players, period. I stand to be corrected. Other people might have other views, but I think it should be for the under 23s.
Because you're talking of development, so it's easy to develop someone who's still young. So I think it makes perfect sense. But the tournament is going on now we are in the quarterfinals. We're going to start the quarterfinals on Saturday. Who's your money on?
Right now, I think for me, Morocco is the country to watch. They didn't start that well, but they qualified for the knockout stage in style, and they topped their group. And yes, Zambia as well should be there and thereabouts, but I'll put my money on Morocco. I think with Egypt refusing to take part in the tournament because they do not recognize the concept of the Chan, I think my money is on Morocco.
Mr. Konaite, one question for you. In Eswatini, it's also our election year. Now, to improve the standard of football in the country, the new president who's going to take over, either a re-election for Mr. Mthetho or a new president, what can he concentrate into in terms if he wants to improve the standard of the of football in the country? Which area do you think we need to pay more attention to?
Guys, you are putting me in a spot because I'm an outsider, although Eswatini is my second home. Yeah, I know, but I think there are certain traditions and cultures about Amaswati that I might not be aware of. There are certain things that might work for us as South Africans, but might not work for Amaswati. But I think the crucial thing to focus on, as far as I'm concerned, Eswatini, should be facilities. Facilities are very, very important. I think clubs need facilities to train on. You cannot afford to train at a place where you have under 12s, you have schools, you have a professional team sharing one ground, training there. It's just not on. The coach cannot prepare his team adequately. And also playing fields. The last time I was there, I spoke to Ingwenyama, His Majesty, and I realized that people packed out Somhlolo Stadium. The time has come for the country to build a bigger stadium where when the national team is playing or when you have your derby, Baban Highlanders against Baban Swallows, they can play at a bigger venue. And I think those are the kind of things, the basics that needs to be put right. And once you have that, then the next stage would be to try and professionalize the game and turn it into a business venture. But you are going to need a lot of buy-in from the corporates in Eswatini. Once you have that, I think the standard will improve. No way. There's no way that it cannot. I'm sure it can improve.
It might happen, Pratike, sorry, but it might happen next time you come here. You'll meet the new president of Football Association. It might happen.
Look, I think Amaswati know what they want and they will elect whoever they feel can take the game Eswatini to a different level. I'm sure they've already identified the person they believe will take the game to a different level. Whoever they select, I will always support him or her.
Thank you so much, Mr. Konaite. It's been lovely having you around and picking some knowledge from you as well, or whatever we've covered today.
Pleasure, guys. Keep well.
Next time we hope when he's around, we're gonna bring him into the studio.
Yeah.
And probably have a word or two with him again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Konaita.
I'll hold you to that.
We will, definitely. We will have you around.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Linda, we've covered a lot with Thomas. I mean, starting from Patrice Motsepe and his candidacy. Because namuhla, yes, they did mention ukuthi iCAF itababita ukuthi bayokhuluma bawabuka banayaya base-Mauritania. And you ask yourself, is it not a bit too late if at the FIFA seba ready ukuthi ba eligible ukuthi babe part of the elections?
I think parties were ngicabanga ukuthi nawubuka lama candidates akhona vele labanye cishe bona ile background yebhola banayo nyalo bata CAF bahlala phansi bakhulume. Mr. Patrice Motsepe ngicabanga sisiyamati since afika Mamelodi Sundowns there was a time lapho khona iSundowns bekuthiwa ithenga wonke umdlali kwentiwa nejoke kuthiwa bafuna nekuthenga badlali becricket makhantini at that time. But kumbhadele lokho over the past over the past 6 or 7 years bayiwinile iCAF Champions League bayiwinile iCAF Super Cup
Club World Cup
iligi ngicabanga ukuthi uwine 4 ku Sundowns nje solo efika 2013. So ngicabanga ukuthi kumsebentele ukhombisile ukuthi uyibhola uyithanza kanganani and nalabadlali ke njoba ashilo Thomas ukuthi badlali be Sundowns cishe ngibona nabo bakulamanye ama teams labhadalwa kakhulu but njoba ngisho ukuthi le competition taba tough sekuthi ke ngihlale ngisho ukuthi ibhola phathizwe itsinga bamvu labahlakaniphile bamvu labati nebusiness. iSundowns be celebrate 50 years a couple of weeks ago. Wabita cishe bonke labo president bema football associations across Africa cishe bonke bafile wabita even nama former stars bo Samuel Eto'o bo Diouf. So uyabona ukuthi lapho bekazama kudlala kulema Kazakh lokusho ukuthi uswe understand ibhola yaseAfrica ukuthi sentshento kanjani. So ngicabanga nje ukuthi kancane utawungena but I feel as lezi Mswati because yamati attachment yakhe ne Eswatini babwakhe bekahlala la khaya naye wafunda la khaya. So ngicabanga ukuthi mine vele bengafisa ukuthi alwine lelikhetho.
Uthinzile Thomas in terms of elections la khaya ukuthi sithola umflota ubuka kakhulu infrastructure abuke khona nayo professionalizing the sport, working close to with the ministry to say on that aspect. We need someone like that.
Yeah, siyabadzinga bami laba kanjalo phathizwe ngicabanga ukuthi kakhulu lokumcoka ukuthi kugcilwa kakhulu ku development kuthi nakugcilwa ku development bese kuba nalama sports facilities bayakhuluma ngawo Thomas. In fact wonke lama regions kudzinga ukuthi abe khona lawo ma grounds la khona kungeke nje sokole ukuthi sinamavuso nasomhlolo Prince of Wales mncane noma Tshani Mtabe Blimele
even mavuso nema reservations somhlolo nema reservations.
In fact mavusa kusilo ground lebhola kuphela uyabona. So ngicabanga ukuthi as live Titan vele esiso owner a stadium lesikhulu 1. Number 2 iFootball Association like banaso i-technical center yabo banaso sigwaca. So ngicabanga ukuthi into lethi kanjalo ema grounds yes inhlangano likhona kalanga likhona but sidinga invole enkulu leta wathi nje ukuthi iownwa iFootball Association yes stadium lesitaba process benjengabo mavuso. So ngicabanga ukuthi sidinga umuntu nalapho again ngiyaye ngimthanze mina umuntu losebusinessini ebholeni ngikhuluma ngaPatrice Motsepe ungisoma business. Ngicabanga ukuthi nalabholeni umuntu lo business mandate lo takwati ukuthi ibhola imali igcitane for a very long time. So lo sikhala ngokuthi ema fans awakhona ukuthenga ema replica national team akhiqidwe
kude
lokwendiwako. So if kutawukhona ukuthi khiqideke lokho kutholakala sponsor 1 labata supplier batasakhela nale jersey. Number 2 akhona lamaswati kwathenga sithi nangabe sihamba kuvulwa ukubukela emabhola sihambe sigcokela ama jersey lawo sathi ukuthi sigcoke ngalokukhulu kuDecember.
We talked about China as well, Master, and I'm gonna have you now sigma quarter final stage at the Saturday. The quarter-final stage. We have countries like Morocco, Congo DR, Bongtuba Congo Bakon. We have Mali, we have the host nation Cameroon, we have Zambia, we have Guinea. We have, I'm forgetting the last one, 8, Lakona, part
Burundi.
We have Burundi. Is it Burundi or Rwanda?
Rwanda,
Sorry,
Rwanda.
Yeah, we have Rwanda. Those are the countries Lakona, the top 8. Yeah, Chan. It's been a difficult tournament. The scores and the quality you call up at all. If Bokona will land the Manyama Fefeli active for the longest of time. But at this stage, Master, I'm gonna ask you as well, who's taking it?
Yeah, that's a very difficult one, participant. Nawubuka ukuthi inyalo ku COSAFA sesimelelo eZambia. Lengicabanga ukuthi imavela njengabo Zimbabwe nawubuka ukuthi group A iZimbabwe beyile pass yahluleka abaka-winning show in game besikhathile ukuthi iZimbabwe cishe lama teams akhona eZimbabwe bu Highlanders abadlali. Yes, it affectile kakhulu. Burkina Faso ku last game against ema ba
control
badla le game leyo be tough kakhulu even nama fans ase Cameroon besacaba ukuthi ngeke bakhona qualifier bo Congo labangithu kune Congo DRC ne Congo Brazzaville ba qualifyile ke laba babili ba kuma quarter finals Libya nakhona dinenge letinvo le tibende ukuthi banga perform kahle bengathile ukuthi Libya itawuhamba la Morocco Rwanda surprise package Rwanda ngicabanga ukuthi kancane Rwanda iyabuya even economy yakhona iyabuya badlali bayaqala nakhona ukuthi into iyabuya kancane but
I'm surprised Togo didn't make it through.
In fact vele iTogo ileague yakhona ayisiyo ileague le cishe le strong vele labadlala ekhaya ngeke uze uthembe
since was it Adebayo they never since him kude lokugana laba kwendile
kude lokugana laba kwendile phathizwe in fact sebayihluleka vele nalokuthi bathole umdlalo tawuhamba adlale ku top flight top flight football more especially in England because England Spain France but nje sethemba ukuthi esikhathini lesitaku batawukhona ukuthi
ku game yeZimbabwe master kwaba ne incident is this not this is not the incident lapho khona a player wathatha free kick angasiyo a designated free kick taker wadlala ngayo wamkhipha coach 4 minutes kwabangazuza umkhiphele le mistake la kayindile yogeja leyo free kick. I think that was the free kick we saw lapha early kwabangathi umkhiphele yona 4 minutes udlaliwe but ke news came in later ukuthi kwabekane wathola knock leso sikhathi. I think it's a cover up master 4 minutes umdlalo out already.
Ngicabanga ukuthi phathizwe kokuqala angishonako eZimbabwe nayo ngile emavela limale kakhulu this Zimbabwe team now ngasiyibuka kahle yesaba kakhona ukuwina but if they active le league yakhona badla ngicabanga ukuthi kukhona la beyitayo yakhona.
Zimbabwe has always produced individual players abafike bashine labadlala khona but as a national team you'll expect ukuthi the quality labanayo surely kubo Africa Cup mabe bafaka boma semi final or finals.
In fact iZimbabwe ilingise iEngland na golden generation abo Beckham bo Scholes bo Gerrard bo Rooney bo Michael Owen so ngicabanga ukuthi nayo iZimbabwe sike sayibona ine cream iZimbabwe bo Peter Ndlovu bo Benjamin Mwarwaro ngababala bonke bo Tinashe Ngomasha bonke labadlali labo bahambile abakakhona ke World Cup befika bomsona naba nabo Billiard nyalo abakakhona ke World Cup abakhona kwina
AFCON ma final masemi ke lonke
masemi AFCON so ngicabanga ukuthi bayihluleka lokuhlanganisa le team lokuyidlalisa ngalendlela labane masters ngayo because now ubuka nje ukuthi for the past 10 years cishe ema strikers laba oproduce iZimbabwe ukhuluma boNyasha Musheki Knowledge Msona Mahachi Billiard ngababala bonke phathizwe but bayihluleka kudlala kahle so ngicabanga ukuthi kunenkinga nakhona lapho kudinga ukuthi bake le football association yakhona ikihlale nalabo coach bakhona because nabo coach bakhona cishe bakhona lo coach Super Sports nyalo from Zimbabwe wayidlala ibhola so bahlale phansi babuke lenkinga kahle ukuthi yini bahlale nabo technical director bakhona babuke ukuthi lenkinga lephethe iZimbabwe yini kahle.
Now kube sekuhamba ke master kubuka nale region if you gonna put those points in case you have South Africa on the side. They have every facility you want as a professional footballer. training facilities, games, stadiums, la kudlala khona lawo ma games, but nabo they are underperforming. They last won the Africa Cup 96, and of late until now by Egypt, they couldn't even qualify for those tournaments.
Yeah, nakhona phathizwe ngicabanga ukuthi lokulimate lokufika kwalimata kakhulu ibhola eSouth Africa ngile politics between Premier League na SAFA, because ukhuluma ngetin two ubamvu laba bese bahamba different parts nawubuka ukuthi lokuvana akusiko kahle, not so long ago bekumele kuqale ileague SAFA wala nabo Rafaela tonke letinvo leto phathizwe ngicabanga ukuthi timoshile, but again sibuyela in 1995-96 Orlando Pirates yayina i-Champions League, 96 ibafana yawin AFCON, and le group yalabadlali labo yahamba 98 by France ba qualify la France, 2002 ba qualify la i-World Cup. Le transition leyo since then akabi ne transition lekahle, noma labadlali bakhona ukuthi labane experience bakhona ukushirishela naba labanye. In 2006 by Egypt ku AFCON bafike bangabuyi ngisho nepoint, bangakori ngisho ukora. So uyabona ukuthi kuna gap.
It's been going down since.
Kakhulu angikhulumi ngevele lakithi ngicabanga ukuthi asikaze senyuka ngaphandle kwanasa sigaba sa.
We cannot talk about the bronze medal because SAFA master, we need to be a bit more ambitious. I can say yes, it's an achievement looking at our standards,
but we need to qualify for AFCON,
more especially now ukuthi lama games yabona sebawudlala sebawazona ukuthi the region ukuthi compete with one, then produce leyo move longahamba. We cannot be crying on
just Madagascar. Imagine Madagascar not so long ago besingafuni ukudlala
Madagascar bese singasafuni ukudlala nayo
because siyashaya.
Nyala isafuni ukudlala nayo.
Ayisafuni ukudlala nathi sesibancane kakhulu.
neComoros soon itabe ngasafuni ukudlala nathi. There's a lot to be fixed in our local football mbukele ekhaya. Kepha ke ndathatha lethuba ukuthi ngivalelise yena Linda Master. Thank you so much Master for being with us.
Ngokubonga mina Phathizo.
Sibonge na kuwe mbukele sibonge kakhulu naye kuye Thomas Konayite lokhona lekuthatha lethuba waba nathi sakhona ukukhulumisana naye ke phinze sithi awuthembisa mbukele sesitawuzama ukuthola yena Felix ngesikhathi lesi suitable for yena njengaloko sathi ukuthi liqembu lakhe lebhizi bayadlala bona eNingizimu Afrika. Sethemba ukuthi kutawuhamba emalanga simthole esikhulumisana naye la simuve ukuthi ngabe siday sakhe sikanjani khona ku TX Galaxy. Sibonga kakhulu mbukeli ukuthi bohleli nathi, sethemba ukuthi ulithokotela lihlelo sisaqhubeka. My name is Phathizo MCB. You best believe when you say it.
Take it down.